Blood was dripping down the side of my wheelchair, pooling on the driveway. And there she was, Linda, the president of our HOA, standing smug in her manicured yard with a pistol still smoking in her hand. She actually waved at me like she'd just swatted a fly. In that second, I knew my life in this neighborhood had gone from an annoying daily battle with a power-hungry neighbor to something far darker, life or death, right in front of my own house. I should back up. My name's Michael, and I'm a veteran. I came home from active duty with my body broken, paralyzed from the waist down, but my spirit was intact. Or at least, I thought so. I inherited some money when my father passed, plus my VA benefits. So I was able to buy a decent house in a nice neighborhood. I wasn't looking for trouble, just a place where I could live quietly, cook my meals, shoot hoops in the driveway, maybe even feel a little normal again. But living next door to Linda meant normal wasn't going to happen. She was the type of HOA president who saw the neighborhood as her kingdom, and every homeowner was just another subject to control. And me? To her, I was the ultimate eyesore. The wheelchair veteran who, according to her, dragged the property values down just by existing. From the first week, Linda made it clear I wasn't welcome. She'd catch me outside and sneer. "You don't belong here, Michael. People like you belong in a facility, not in a community like ours." I tried to keep it light. Sarcasm was my shield. "Well, last I checked, I signed the deed and paid the mortgage. So yeah, looks like I do belong here." I'd laugh it off, but truthfully, her words stung deeper than I let on. I fought wars overseas, survived explosions, dragged myself through rehab, but somehow, being told I was disgusting for rolling across my own lawn cut me in a way shrapnel never could. Linda didn't stop at insults. She sent me letters from the HOA, claiming my wheelchair parked on the porch violated aesthetic standards. She threatened to hold meetings to review my eligibility to stay. She even told neighbors that my presence would scare away potential buyers. Some shrugged it off as Linda being Linda, but others looked at me differently after hearing her rants. The silence from the rest of the HOA made it worse. It was like they were willing to let her run wild as long as she didn't aim her fire at them. For a while, I pushed through. I've dealt with worse than nasty words. I'd roll out to my driveway, set up my basketball hoop, and shoot free throws from my chair. It made me feel alive again, gave me a sense of control. But Linda always found a way to poison even that. "Look at you, pretending you're normal," she'd yell across the fence. "You're embarrassing all of us." I'd fire back something sharp just to keep her off balance. But inside, I was tired. Tired of being her target. Tired of feeling like a stain on the block. Then came the day everything changed. The sun was warm. The air felt good. And I'd just finished a round of shots. Sweaty, but satisfied. I leaned back in my chair, letting the breeze hit my face. When I heard it, the unmistakable crack of a gun, my brain snapped back into soldier mode. I tried to duck, but strapped into a chair. There's nowhere to go. At first, I didn't even feel it. But then I looked down. Blood was streaming down my leg, dark and fast, staining the concrete, and across the yard. Linda stood there, a pistol in her hand, waving like she'd just done the neighborhood a favor. My heart slammed in my chest. I fumbled for my phone, called 911, tried to keep my voice steady. Paralyzed or not, blood loss is no joke. I pressed my hands against the wound, all while Linda smirked from her yard. That image, her grin, the weapon, the sheer pride in what she'd done, burned into me like a scar deeper than the bullet wound. At the hospital, as the doctors patched me up, the weight of it all finally hit me. I'd let her demean me for months, brushed it off, told myself words couldn't hurt. But words had turned into bullets, and now I couldn't pretend anymore. Lying there, I had this crushing thought. Maybe she's right. Maybe I don't belong here. Maybe I should just sell the house, move somewhere people won't look at me like a burden. For a few dark hours, I felt small, worthless, like the war had taken not just my legs, but my place in the world. But then something snapped. I remembered my unit overseas, the times we were pinned down, convinced we were done, and how we fought anyway. I remembered the friends I lost, men who never got the chance to come home and roll into their own driveway again. And I thought, hell no, I didn't survive all that just to be run off by some bitter tyrant with a title on a neighborhood board. If I gave up now, it wouldn't just be about me, it'd be about letting her poison spread unchecked. That was the moment I decided I wasn't just going to survive Linda's bullet. I was going to make sure she paid for it. I gave my full statement to the police, named her directly, described the gun, the smirk, everything. And for once, the HOA's silence cracked. Neighbors who'd watched from behind curtains came forward, saying they'd heard her threats, seen her confront me. The cops took it seriously. This wasn't just harassment anymore. This was attempted murder. They got a warrant, raided her house. And that's when the story twisted again. They didn't just find the pistol. They found an arsenal, handguns, rifles, even weapons she had no permits for. 10 illegal firearms in total, tucked away like she was gearing up for war. It was more than enough to bury her in charges. Court was something else. Linda strutted in like she still ran the place, chin high, sneering at me from across the room. She told the judge I was a danger, that I didn't belong, that she needed those guns to protect the community from me. The whole courtroom went still at her words. When it was my turn, I spoke slowly, clearly, no sarcasm this time. I fought for this country. I left pieces of myself on the battlefield, and when I came home, I bought a house, just like any other American. But my neighbor decided I didn't deserve to live next to her. So she shot me. Not because of noise, not because of trash cans, but because of a wheelchair. Because she thought my life lowered her property value. The jury didn't take long. Guilty, attempted murder, multiple counts of illegal firearms possession, 10 years behind bars. When the sentence was read, Linda didn't break down, didn't cry. She just glared at me, muttering under her breath about how the neighborhood was doomed. But the truth was clear. The only thing that had poisoned our block was her. And now, she was gone, walking, or rather rolling, out of that courthouse. I didn't feel triumphant. There were no fireworks, no applause, just a heavy, quiet sense of balance restored. The HOA distanced themselves from her. Her house went up for sale, and the neighborhood finally breathed without her shadow looming. I didn't need to celebrate. Watching her stripped of power, watching her kingdom collapse around her, that was enough. And that's the thing I carry with me now. People like Linda think power makes them untouchable, that their cruelty is law just because they shout it louder than everyone else. But they forget. Justice has its own way of cutting through the noise. The lesson I learned, the one I'll never forget, is simple. Real strength isn't about the titles you hold or the rules you twist. It's about standing tall, even in a chair, and refusing to be erased. And that's what we uncover here on HOA drama unfolded.